Friends, thank you for listening. This is Frederick Henry, and this is the Frederick Henry Podcast, the Frederick Henry Show, all things concerning Trump, President Trump. And today I just want to continue pleading with all of my listeners and anyone out there who has help us open up the country. Where I'm at, I go shopping, I go into the stores, I've been in the retail store, Home Goods, I've been in TJ Maxx, other retailers, restaurants, and the like more. Everything's fine. People are fine. Many people wear a mask, many people don't wear a mask, but everybody seems to be comfortable with each other and trust each other. And I think this is the most important aspect that I'd like to share with you today, is the need to trust and have faith in our fellow citizens. In my case, I've been basically quarantined for 8 weeks now. It's 8 weeks. I don't have the COVID. I didn't have the COVID. I didn't test positive for the COVID. I don't have the COVID antibodies. And I practice, washing my hands. I wear a mask in retail outlets. I don't wear one in the restaurant where we have able to eat, but we're distanced from each other quite a ways. I don't know how these businesses are able to do it at about 1/3 capacity, but they are. And so I think it's very important for us to assert to our government that we are not going to remain in a spiral of economic suicide and financial suicide. People need to work to make an income. You can't just print money. That's ridiculous. And these Democrat governors who are saying, just pay. You can't pay. There's no money to pay. You have to print it. If you print it, you cause inflation. Inflation causes disaster. And all kinds of socialistic, fascistic, communistic schemes depend upon out-of-control inflation, depend upon food shortages and supply shortages, and depend upon fear, the population fearing each other and fearing the future and fearing daily life. And so we have to overcome that. I think Americans are ready for that, my friends. I think we're ready to get over the fear and move forward. But we have to tell our politicians and our governors especially. Now, I'm in the state of New Jersey. I have Governor Murphy. And today, Congressman Pasquale, who's a vicious anti-Trumper, he never does anything but Trump, anti-Trump, constantly, pot shot, slingshot, take a gunshot, whatever you want to call it, against President Trump. This guy, Pasquale, doesn't even talk about New Jersey. He just talks about Trump and how Trump is bad. Now, today he announces, in his little, whoever writes his stuff for him, that Governor Murphy, a former Goldman Sachs, Governor Murphy's not a politician. He's a businessman from a financial firm called Goldman Sachs, which is in the stock market, the financial markets, and all of that good stuff. A powerhouse of the financial powerful, like Brendan Byrne, like the others. Corzine. I don't know how these people keep getting elected in New Jersey. The only thing I can think of is New Jersey voters are lazy and they don't get out to vote. I'm reminded that de Blasio in New York City won the election by 18% of those who voted, and de Blasio won because 18% of those eligible to vote voted, and he won the majority of those people. So the other, what does it equal? The other 72% of the people in New York City didn't even bother to go and vote. Amazing. And then they have to suffer through de Blasio. And that's amazing to me. I just can't understand. So one of the premises that I want to share with you through these podcasts is I believe that change can be had. I believe that progress can be accomplished. I believe that we can move forward. I believe that we can succeed. I believe that we can have prosperity again, and better prosperity than ever before. I believe that we can have a brilliantly wonderful future if we vote, if we get off our and we vote. You have to vote, my friends, in 2020. You have to get out there and vote, not only for Trump, but for the governors, for the Congress people, and for the locals and all these other people. I'm a Republican. I vote Republican. I almost never vote Democrat because I don't believe in the Democrat Party. It's not the Democratic Party. It's a Democrat Party. And I think they're revealing themselves as people anti-prosperity, anti-progress, anti-future. These people are stuck in the mud. And we have to just dump them in the mud and leave them there. They want to be swamp rats and sink into the swamp hole and sink into the quicksand of the swamp. That's their business. But we, the people, don't have to do that. We can move forward with President Trump, with his administration, and Republican governors like Ron DeSantis and others who are leading the way out of this disastrous pandemic overreaction. We reacted. We had certain information. I've done this in other podcasts. I'm not going to go there. But let's just say this. In good faith, we the people agreed to be shut down. But now we have better data. We have more information. We know more about the situation. We have more statistics. And we are finding out that the models that were used by the so-called expert were very, very faulty, very, very far off, and very, very wrong. And so therefore, now that they're proven to be wrong, let's forget them. Let's forget Fauci. Let's forget Birx. Let's forget all those guys. Move forward with the new information, the new data into the future. And the death rate is nowhere near what they said it would be. The infection rate is nowhere near what they said it would be. The idea that you can get it off of surfaces even is being disproved. So we have to dump Fauci, dump Birx. We don't have to blame. Don't point fingers. Don't get crazy. We don't have to bring them to trial. That's ridiculous. Just forget about these people and move forward into the future, because we have to do that, because we're about to commit economic suicide. We're in the process of doing it, but it's a very slow suicide, and I think that we don't want that. You don't want it. I don't want it. President Trump doesn't want it. His administration doesn't want it. It's happening. So when Governor Murphy, according to Bill Pascrell, the one of the Congress people in New Jersey, says that Governor Murphy, Goldman Sachs executive, become governor, bored with his job, by the way. In the early days of his administration, he said, I'm bored with what I do. I think this is boring. He has decided that he thinks he's going to lay off or fire. He's going to fire 200,000 state workers. Well, you know what? These state workers probably voted for him, and they probably wanted him, and they probably thought he was the best thing since apple pie and motherhood, but now they're finding out that maybe this guy wasn't what they expected. Too late, he's 4 years the governor. But the next time you get a chance to elect a Republican governor, dump these Democrats. Dump this Murphy guy. This is ridiculous. Dump this Pascrell. Now, I wrote a tweet today. A lot of people complaining about Pascrell, and in New Jersey. But you know what? I don't even know who his opponent is. I don't even know if the GOP of New Jersey even bothered to put up a candidate. I don't even know if they're even trying to unseat this guy. This guy is like 78 or 82, whatever. I don't even know. He's an old man. And he's from yesterday. He's yesterday's news. He's from yesterday. He's a power broker. He's a politician through and through. He eats, drinks, and sleeps politics. His blood runs politics. He's just another hack. And yet, I don't see anybody in a very important district in New Jersey even daring to oppose Pascrell, Bill Pascrell. Where is the GOP? Where is the state organization? Where are the grassroots people? Where are the revolutionaries in the political realm willing to say, this seat is important, let's dump this guy, he is yesterday's news, he's from yesterday, he thinks yesterday, and he acts yesterday, and he's not today, and he's not tomorrow, he's nowhere. That this guy is hurting us. So we got to dump this guy, Pascrell. I'm in the district. I could run for that seat. I would like to run for that seat, but you know what? Hey, it's difficult. I do understand it. If you don't have the backing of a party like the Independent Party or the Green Party, the Blue Party, the Green Party, Orange Party, whoever, Libertarian Party, you're not going to get anywhere. You got to have some political party, registered political party, to get you out there, and then you have to speak up and speak up. I would gladly run against Pascrell, but you know what? Don't have the signatures, I don't have the petition, so I confess. I am encouraging others, but I myself am not doing it. So I'm just as guilty as the rest. So let's move on to the next thing, because I confess and I ask for forgiveness. Relative to what's going on right now, I think President Trump is meeting with the executives. He's trying to get the business people off their derriere. They're sitting, they're squatting, they're collecting their big money, they're collecting their big stock options. The stock market's good. Their companies are saving money. The accounting people. And I have a good friend in business. He said the salesmen are great. The entrepreneurs are great. The people are great. The workers are great. The difficulty is the accountants. The accountants count beans. And the more beans in one jar and the less beans in another jar means success. When in fact, that kind of thinking in business is disastrous. And businesses die because accountants count beans. And entrepreneurs and salespeople are forced to live by counting beans and not by selling, progressing, and moving forward. And we need to do that now. We have a businessman at the top of the heap, Donald J. Trump, wonderful guy. He can lead us into the future. He can reopen the economy. He can make America great again and keep America great again. We have to elect him in 2020. We have to support him right now. And we have to push to open up the country, because you know what? If the Democrat persons, now there was no conspiracy. They didn't create the COVID virus. They didn't create the pandemic. They didn't create Fauci and Birx, I don't think. But they definitely capitalized on a panic that they could use to their advantage and perhaps defeat President Trump and destroy and erase and eradicate and tamp down the political revolution that he represents. I've said in previous programs, President Trump did not make a political revolution. He is the spearhead. He is the titular head. He is the leader of a political revolution that predates him. The political revolution was produced by the people in the Tea Party movement. Taxes enough already. TEA. Taxes enough already. That movement tried to bring about changes, but many career politicians saw the advantage of the Tea Party movement. Taxes already. Anyway, I'm getting it wrong now. Taxes already. Taxes enough already. That's right. Taxes enough already. Taxes enough already. Party. They saw an opportunity to get ahead, and these people seized the administrative control of the Tea Party movement. They seized control of the Tea Party movement fundraising. They seized control of the Tea Party movement focus groups, and they turned it into a adjunct political party, which they could use to get themselves elected to political office when that was never the intention. And so, having been frustrated and disappointed by the overtaking of the Tea Party movement by career politicians, the people were still restless and still struggling to make a new revolution. And they finally found a man, Donald J. Trump, who would lead them to victory in the 2016 election, because he agreed to make promises and then to deliver on the promises. He made the promises that the people expected him to make, and he has delivered on those promises. And now we, the 63 million of us and many others who have become people who are backing President Trump, we need to continue to push forward and to support him. Now, not only electing him, we have to elect a Republican Congress, we have to elect a Republican Senate, we have to replace, wherever possible, these Democrat senators in New Jersey and New York and Virginia and places like that. Terrible people. We have to start California if it's possible. If not, we have to elect every single Republican within those Democrat-controlled states to put a check on the tyranny that these Democrat governors are putting upon us. And so, my friends, be active. And every day I wake up, I'm going to confess something to you. I'm going to confess. Every day I wake up and I wonder and I doubt and I pray. I'm a prayer. I'm a Christian and I pray. You can be a Jew and you can pray. You can be a Muslim. You can pray. You can be a Buddhist. You can pray. I'm not making a big deal out of that. But I'm just saying, I just want you to know. I'm a Christian and I pray, and I really do pray. And I pray for the success of our nation. I pray for the restoration of our economy. I pray for the reemployment of our people. And I pray for prosperity again. Make America great again the second time, and keep America great. And that's why I support President Donald J. Trump, because I think he's the man who can do it. He's the man who can do it. There may be others. I don't know who they are. They're in hiding. They're under some